Welcome back. In this video, we're going to go over how to store in-house sign documents on your own servers. So on the Inhouz Cloud platform, we do have a module called File Storage Services. File Storage Services allows you to integrate your file storage locations, such as an AWS S3 buckets, Azure Blob Storage container, and Google Cloud Storage bucket. So this module allows you to come in here, put in your credentials, and connect and integrate with the storage location. Now, there are many use cases within the Inhouz Cloud platform that lets you transact and have files be stored securely in your file storage service locations. One of those is Inhouz Sign. As you know, every single e-signature platform will have a time until your documents gets removed from the platform. In many cases, it's years. But in many ways, eventually those documents will probably be gone at some point. Now, there are multiple use cases for wanting your documents stored in your own location. One of those use cases is, of course, you do not want those documents, those contracts to expire. You want to have them in your storage location forever. Another important use case is privacy or confidentiality, right? Some documents might be so sensitive, you might not feel comfortable using a service that stores those documents on your own servers. So if that is one of your use cases, then the Inhouz Sign provides the perfect option. All right, so if I'm going to jump into Inhouz Sign by clicking on the Inhouz Sign menu. At every single level, you can configure this integration between documents and your file storage service, and I'm going to show you in multiple places how this is done. If I go ahead and create a document from scratch, I immediately get this file storage settings. And there are three options here: draft, attachment, and the final document. So I already have, a file storage service is an S3 bucket. So I'm going to fill up all three. So what does this mean? Draft file storage service just means that the actual draft, so whatever document I upload here or or I import from a template will be stored in this file storage location. So even the draft documents does not get stored on our servers. Attachment file storage service. This is basically, when you have your recipients upload attachments when they sign their documents, these attachment files will be uploaded to your file storage service location if you provide one. And then the final documents. So when everyone is done signing, a final document is usually generated. Now, document will also be sent to your file storage service location. So whenever a file storage service location is provided, the Inhouz Cloud system does not store your files in our servers. It's stored in your servers, and we will integrate and pull that file needed, right? Or for whatever reason, using your secure integration using file storage services. So here's how to configure file storage settings using when creating documents directly. Now let's say I use a template, and my template has its own file storage service settings, right? So if you are using a template and you provide your own file storage settings for the document, these settings will override the configurations of the template. Just keep that in mind. Now, another thing to note is that you can have different storage locations for different parts of your document. So you can have, let's say I had multiple file storage services. I could have one, maybe I can have a service called S3 Sandbox Draft, and another one called S3 Sandbox Attachment Files, another one called S3 Sandbox Final uh, Final Documents. So you can have, you can mix and match where all your files are stored. So I'm going to exit the create document workflow. I'm going to jump into a template. So if I'm in a template like this one, and I jump into the settings, if I go into my settings, I can also configure the file storage settings within my template. And what this does is that it prevents me from having to do this with every single document. So now every single template or every single document that is created from this template will inherit these file storage settings configurations. So if I wanted perhaps every single file, that is every final document, right? Every final in-house signed document generated from this template to be sent to my S3 sandbox. All I need to do is just connect it like this, and that's it. Same with the attachments, same with the sandbox, same with the draft files. Now, does this affect how you experience in-house sign? Absolutely not, because the system is going to recognize that you have provided a different file storage location, and because you have integrated using the file storage service module, the system is going to go find the credentials securely and then integrate with your system and basically give you the same experience as you would get if you were using our servers. So it's a seamless integration once configured. All right. Now, what if you were programmatically creating a document? You get to also pick and choose what file storage locations. You can do that programmatically as well. And if you get into your company settings, into your storage settings, if you don't want to, let's say you had like 100 templates, if you did not want to go as far as configuring this in your template, if you wanted this to just be an organization-wide default in your account settings page, you can configure defaults on a global level for your in-house signed documents. So you can basically say, well, every single draft document, this is a draft template, or this is a template file, or an unsigned in-house signed document should be stored, using in this case my S3 sandbox. Every in-house signed attachment file should be stored here as well, and then every final signed document should be stored here. So, like I said before, if you have a global configuration such as this, and you then have a configuration on a template level, your template configuration will supersede your global configurations. And if you then go further and then configure it specifically within a document, the document supersedes the template supersedes the global. So you have so much flexibility to configure how you want your files to be stored on your own servers. All right, that's it for this video. See you in the next one.